The former president, John Dramani Mahama, says so president-elect. Eko PMO or the Ringway Assemblies of God, our Accra. A one ayera JDM awesome, and into Nyamia, they can see the victory assigned Amanwa. There is only Nyamia Asida Eman, and into Noni at the four, including the former First Lady, Madame Lordina Mahama, Eko PMO, together with other party apparatchiks and supporters and loved ones. Ebusia, our Perine could do Horno. Onya kwenya se obekasa so de bia no record asia ya man platform so onkasa na nsema yewura Muhammad tugwa wo Thanksgiving service na ase no eseweni ense okachiro kan ya mo kire mu se ebra olusun 2016 elections no said ya before the nipa troop ni fie ba hwehwe no ne adade no na nipa ne mba biem na said aka no nko na ebusua kakra bi ene ne mma ene adofo kakra bi. No, even Christmas hampers are never prior to the 2016 elections in the Crampono. Olusu power no ejaiba. Nature di pasuban. No science to chile say 2 mina yesaka no. Ya ntina so de biara da. Embre dane. Ene tunya 2 mia na wahwe so yie. O chile mu say ebra so say Ghana economy no atita pansam na so no. Nyame beboa ama wetumi aye na Ghana asafa no to mapa efra busia. And Samna president-elect Edutugwa no so hard touching na pepper say obetie na adesuade bebre wom nkranhye wom adesuade wom afutu wom enu tie na yen type tu na nkotie nsem a yama mpahene awreba ekopie mu ho aseda sori na se no Edutugwa se Ghana fo wiasefo party fo obia ntie bi na aseba kosa kan wo mu no se o se obeyoma mpahene a. That is what this year goes from January 7 ekwa or the day beba your friend on National Day for Prayer and Thanksgiving Service. Just afibia no obey that ba kwesi wo na Ghana fu na bompa ye de rade ase. Esan say nyame na waye na osande na bedi adibie wani nti no obey that ba kwesi wo na ye da chida ama nene na wan pay no reba message say na ye mo modi answer sa adwumadi no saketimi wi na Cathedral na ka yakwa sa National Thanksgiving service no because ebe National Church Auditorium until no yan hwe say kwame be possible betumi aye say say state funds de be ye kura na yan say Ghana for asora huru nyina mboa na contribute na enkosi National Cathedral na ama pele ko fado asha so no na mo man ye state funds na mo me say egidifo bi o man yima we can do it without involving the state resources na tumi aye na yin etimi akushia over so na ma adwen kire yo until say obefa dia na na pia me na msusu say say o man pena shade ase na say gidifu ina de dia na ekrisofo no asafo ahoro wasofo mpanfo edi anim obia mfa no to mambo no to man ne na mfa adwene nye ready resources den ko sisa dan no fa hye na me enunyam ya adwenpa ebuso enti ya man pena oreba ne nsem de a waka kire Ghana for brand no ko pie mu Assemblies of God Church of Ringway Accra.
This has been a very grueling campaign, and there were times when the spirit was willing but the flesh was weak. There were mornings when getting out of bed was quite a struggle because we had just come back from campaigning at about 3 a.m. and by 8 a.m. they were asking you to get up and hit the road again. And yet, when I managed to get out of bed and stood under the shower, it was as if God was washing all the fatigue away. I stepped out of the shower and God had given me a renewed energy for that day to start that day. And so I thank him for seeing us through, for giving me the energy to go through this campaign, and to thank him for making us do it safely. We suffered no casualty. We had no accident. If you consider that we visited every part of this country, every single constituency, and we're on the move continuously for weeks on end, driving thousands of kilometers, and yet there was no casualty, no accident. We thank him. But I want to say the easy part is over. The difficult part now begins. It's not going to be easy, as I've said many times on the campaign trail. With a few briefings I've had since the declaration was made, I can confirm that our country is still in a very severe economic crisis, and it's going to take a lot of work to bring it back. It's going to be a tough task to restore our economic prosperity. But I pray that the God who gave me this responsibility will give me the strength and the wisdom to carry it. I pray that God gives me the sense of discernment and wisdom to choose the right people to work in the best interest of the people of Ghana. God's favor is still on our dear country, Ghana, and I know He will not forsake us. And as Reverend Tete preached this morning, he said we must learn to give thanks in all things, and he gave us the breakdown of what the benefits of thanks are. And that is why I've announced that when I become president, I'll institute a National Day of Prayer and Thanksgiving every year. Every year as a nation, we will take time off to pray and thank God. And I'm going to be a significant part of that Thanksgiving. Sometimes it has been happiness, and today we're dressed in all white, we're all happy. But sometimes it has been sadness, it has been very lonely. And I remember a time when I had won the election in 2012, and I went to visit President Kufuor, and it was surprising how quiet his house was and how quiet the entrance to his house was. And I was transported back to when he was president. Anytime I was going to Parliament, I lived in East Legon. There was a huge crowd in the frontage of his house next to Villaju. You people know that place. And anytime it was Christmas or the Muslim feast of Salah, you see white sheep and cows tied outside his house being brought to him as gifts. And so this time when I came, it was very quiet. He had just a few policemen at the entrance, his loyal policemen who had been assigned to him by the state. And so when I went in, I remarked, I said, oh, look how quiet your house is. I remember when you were president, this place was always full of people. And he said, John, take note of that. Know that all those people are coming to you because of the position you occupy. And that one day when you leave that position, your house will be as quiet as mine. And it's true, when I lost in 2016, the Christmas hampers stopped coming. There are many people who used to come to my gate and come and try to get into just to see me for a minute, stop coming. It was only my siblings, my family, my closest friends and others, my church members who continued to stand closely to me. So for me, these trappings of power don't get to my head. I know that all the praises and blessings you'll be showered with by people are temporary. It's because of that word attached to your name, president. One day it will go and you'll be with those who are. I cried unto God and brought my supplications to the Almighty, and He responded with bountiful blessings and success. And for that, I give Him thanks. This victory can only be divine. God assured me in my heart, and I knew. He spoke to me and said that He will bless me with success in this election. But I did not know that the blessing was going to be so bountiful and that the victory was going to be so massive and so dramatic that I give Him all the thanks and blessing for what He has done, not only for me, but for the whole of Ghana. He has done good for Ghana because He has restored the sovereignty and the power of the people of Ghana. We've practiced democracy since 1992. With time, the political elite, and I'll say including myself, all of us who God has given the opportunity to lead this country, we have grown in arrogance and selfishness. And we have believed that the power that we wielded over the people belonged to us, ourselves, and did not recognize that it was God who gave it to us temporarily. So God has made us know that power belongs to the people. And calm, but when they have reached their limits, they will show you that real power belongs to them, and that is God who gives that power. And so, just as our colleagues in the MPP might be feeling very pained by their loss, it should serve as a lesson to those of us coming into government that the same stick that Techi has been beating with, Ghanaian people are reserving it for Ban. So I've been receiving knocks on my door, receiving text messages, people who are considering themselves for various positions, and I just want to warn them, it's not going to be a walk in the park. If you're not prepared to work and serve the people of Ghana diligently and modestly and with humility, then don't come. Just stay where you are. The political journey has been a divine one, and I believe that it's God who has guided my step each way until now, from being a member of parliament to being a deputy minister, to being a minister, to being a vice president, to being a president. At each step, I have doubted whether it was the path that I wanted to carry on. But God has gently continued to push me and show me in the direction that He wants me to go. And I know that it's Him who has put me for a time like this to do His work for Ghana and for Him.